Welcome to NLP Talks with Laura Evans, a podcast for people looking to unleash their potential in business and life. I'm Laura Evans, international trainer of NLP and host for this podcast series. Join me for insightful interviews with people that know firsthand just how NLP can change lives, and they'll share with you tips and strategies to help you clear your path to success. Stay tuned. Welcome to NLP Talks with Laura Evans. I am Laura Evans and I'm the founder and lead trainer here at Unleash Your Potential, and of course, your host for this podcast. Today's guest is Lisa Dyer. She is a master coach and helps people, men and women across the UK to create the shiniest version of them. In this podcast, Lisa is going to share with you her personal transformation so that you can start to understand just what a difference it has made to her. It's such an inspirational story. I can't wait to share it. So let's get started. So Lisa, I'd love to start by asking you a question about life before NLP. So I know it'll probably be a challenge, but can you cast your mind back before NLP, and what was life like for you back then?
It's quite difficult to think all that time ago. Life was just completely different. And I feel like I was a different person, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's just, when you just think of it, I just can't believe I am just literally a different person to what I was then to what I am today.
Yeah, the listeners at home won't be able to see you screwing your face up. So you're working really hard then to kind of go, I'm not really sure what was like.
You can see my puzzled look.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, what was the kind of thinking that used to go through your mind back then? And you know, what were your views of yourself back then?
I always think of myself, actually, Laura, a bit like a swan.
Yeah.
Whereas on the surface, everything looked fine, it was okay, I was going ahead with things, and then underneath I just felt that I was just trying to keep up with the tide and swimming like mad.
What kind of made you decide that NLP might be the answer to the problems that you were experiencing at that time?
Well, I think for me, I'd always heard snippets about NLP, and I've always been interested in personal development. That's always been something that I valued. And I'd heard things like Tony Robbins, for instance. You know, he's always quoted quite a lot with NLP. I'd heard lots of other various sort of snippets about it. And I was just really curious because I thought this could help me potentially. But I actually had no idea it would help me in the ways it has.
So a lot of people talk about the practitioner course being fairly transformational. It's you know, in my experience, it's the first time that a lot of people realise that real change is possible. You know, that you can absolutely clear out that unhelpful thinking, that you can make a difference. Now, later on in the show, I want to talk about master practitioner because that's where the real change happens.
Yes.
But prac in itself is quite an empowering course to do. How did you find it?
The prac, I found it really transformational, and I think it was just, it's surreal. I think that's the only word I can really use for it is surreal. Because I think you start the course and you think, okay, we're learning, I don't know, a few techniques here, a few different things, but you don't actually realise till you go back to your respective lives the difference that makes. I mean, I had my family say, gosh, you, there's a change in you. My friends had noticed. I noticed myself. There was sort of certain situations where, for example, I'd be stressed previously and it just didn't bother me. I just had this sort of calm resolve and I just looked at things completely differently. I mean, timeline therapy was amazing. And the day after timeline therapy, because you do that towards the end of the course, I remember, it was a simple thing, but I remember driving to the course and looking at my petrol gauge and realising I needed petrol. And I didn't really know the area that I was actually in. And I remember thinking, it's okay, I'll find a petrol station. And it was a simple thing that previously would have got me in a complete stress and panic. And I'd be thinking, oh, I'm going to be late and I don't know where I am. And you know, really feeling those emotions, but I didn't. I'm just thinking about things differently now in my everyday life.
Well, fast forward, obviously, you know, you'd have done the coach and the hypnosis and the timeline therapy course next. And I don't want to downplay that course, but I kind of want to almost skip over it and start to talk about master practitioner. This is the course where, in my opinion, truly changes lives for people. It's the one I love delivering all the courses, but it's the one where I'm the most proud of everybody, because you go put everything into practice that I've taught you and make a difference. And without me rambling about Masters for the next 10 minutes, I'd love you to tell the listener, what was your experience of Masters?
I think for me, Masters was just that added, well, it was just, I think the word I would use is enlightening completely, because on all levels, I just saw such a great change for me. And I think with a practitioner, yes, you get the change, but Masters was just, I think it affected me at a deep level. And that sounds quite woo-woo, I know. But I think it's just, it almost gets to that. If you look at I don't know if you've ever heard of the personal iceberg.
I think I vaguely have heard of it, but go on, tell us about it.
Well, the iceberg is the premise that you have the things on the surface, you know, your appearance, your words, your sort of day-to-day, how you present to the world.
Okay.
But underneath then you have all your values, your beliefs, you have all the hidden things and things that you never question. That all drives your outer behaviour, which is what NLP is all about the programming that we just accept. And I think for me, it just hit that lower level of the iceberg. And that's where I saw fundamental change.
Yeah. No, and that's a brilliant way of describing it. I think, you know, there's a lot of coaching out there, a lot of training out there that does deal with that surface level stuff. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it's never going to be quite as fundamentally transformational. Transformational change and progress happens when we work at that unconscious level, at that deeper level. You know, I remember when I used to get really worried about presentations. I don't know about you, but as someone that used to train for years and still train now, I used to be petrified, and everybody kept saying, but tell yourself it's going to be all right, and do the positive affirmations and focus, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, but inside I was still like, but I can't do it. Like, I'm scared. And what if they judge me? What if they laugh at me for the wrong reasons? And all that kind of stuff. And you can consciously try and tell yourself on the surface level, it will be fine. You know your stuff. You've done your preparation.
You'll be fine,
You'll be fine. When you get underneath the skin of that and you actually flip the thinking. I mean, I remember on my practitioner course when we used the swish pattern.
Oh, that was...
you know, and you go from currently how do you feel about presenting to how would you rather feel instead? And all of a sudden you change that default setting. So you don't consciously have to tell yourself it's going to be all right. It just manifests. It just happens. Like, you stand at the front of the room and you start talking and you're confident, you're excited, you know, did you notice anything similar? I mean, it might not be presenting, but did you notice anything similar?
Well, definitely quite a large part of my job at the time was training, and I noticed I just felt completely different about it. And I don't know about you, Laura, but I used to feel exactly like you said in terms of presenting, you know, all those nerves, and you convince yourself. And I used to feel absolutely shattered finishing courses, and it just completely drained me. So I do it. It looked okay on the surface, but it took a lot out of me. And I just found that following NLP, and especially the Master Prac, I just didn't feel that way anymore. I felt quite relaxed, you know, went home and thought, it's just another day. Yeah, it's great.
I wonder what the old Lisa would have thought about that comment.
Oh, gosh.
Like, the old Lisa would have thought that was like never going to happen in a million years. That's impossible.
But that I think is a really good point there, because I think you accept things, and that's what I've noticed with, especially with Master Prac. It makes you not take things at that face value, and you delve at that deeper level. And I think that's where you get the transformation, because you realise things don't have to be like you've always done them for, 20, 30 years. Things can change.
Yeah. No, I kind of liken Masters to a little bit like rooting around underneath the engine of a bonnet.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Under the bonnet of an engine even. I don't know, whatever the word is.
It's a car one.
It's a car, right? It's got 4 wheels. That's about all I know about cars. But, it gets under the skin of things. And it's truly, truly transformational. Do you remember your board break?
I do vividly, yes.
it's always a highlight for everybody. Tell everybody about, because a lot of the listeners won't know we do board breaks on Master Prac. So tell us a little bit about how that was.
Well, Laura turns you into the Karate Kid, literally. But it's wonderful. I was actually telling somebody about this week, and they looked at me like I was absolutely barking mad. I said, "Did you really do that?" And I went, "Absolutely, I did it." You have a piece of wood, and on the wood you write your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations for the future, and on the back of that then you write about things that may stop you from achieving that. And then Laura trains you, and we follow something called, I've forgotten the name.
NLP modelling.
NLP modelling. Thank you very much for reminding me.
You're very welcome.
Bit of a slip there. NLP modelling, and it's such a wonderful day. The room is absolutely electric. That's all I can say. It was just, wasn't it wonderful?
I love it. I love Board Break Day.
Everyone just, the anticipation. So we follow the modelling. And we break our board. So we snap the board in half, just using your hand.
And bearing in mind, these boards are about an inch thick.
They are.
They're not paper thin. I know one of our more recent delegates on a master's programme, she took a photo of her and her board. And one of her friends loved them, turned around and said, "Well, that doesn't look very thick. It looks like paper."
No.
And she was like, "Let me show you the thickness of the board."
They are
thick. They're an inch thick, 12 inches wide by about 10.5 inches the other way. So they're sizable boards.
I know.
And do you know what I love is on day one of Masters when I hand them out and I give them to everybody and everybody looks at me and I go, "You're going to smash that at the end of this week." And everybody looks at me like I've gone off and they're going, "Really?" And you can read the non-verbal cues. You don't have to say anything. You can just see people going, "Right, okay." And then we get to the end of it and then people smash them in half. And
it's amazing.
The thing, if the listeners have never done board breaking or never seen it before, the thing to do with board breaking has nothing to do with strength or power. And people think it's all to do with that because of the karate chopping and people kind of think that's what it's about, but it's just not. It's everything to do with your ability to follow a process and commitment. And committing to the process, committing to the downward strike and doing it. But have you still got your board?
I do.
I've still got mine as well.
It's great.
I love it.
It's wonderful. Every time you look at it, I think it just brings you back to that place. And as you say, I never would have believed on day one that I'd actually break that board just with my hand. And I think sometimes it just, I think it actually just clarifies how far you've come to do that. It's amazing when you think of it.
And you deploy all those NLP skills I've taught everybody into that one exercise and do it with ease. Absolutely. And it's quite fun as well. I love it.
It was absolutely great fun. Everyone, as I said, the atmosphere that day, I wish I could have bottled that. It was wonderful. And
I think the other thing is, yes, we use it to demonstrate NLP modelling, which is a technique used to create all the original techniques that we now teach. It's a fundamental skill of NLP, but it's the last thing we teach because you need all those skills to be great at it. And when you're great at using all those skills, ball breaking's easy.
It is. Absolutely.
It's just a process.
It's just, I think, as you say, I think you've actually got to do it, haven't you, to believe that you can actually do it.
Totally.
It's amazing.
Totally.
Amazing.
So I'd like to talk, if we can, a little bit about breakthrough coaching, because the topic of this episode is transformational coaching, which is, for me, is this piece about getting real change really quickly in a short space of time. This isn't about one session a week for 12 weeks or 6 months like some people will do. That is not the type of coaching that I do personally. Others do, but I don't. I'm into transformational coaching. I'm into get the client in, help the client and send them on their way. And obviously, as you'll know, part of the master's program all leads towards the breakthroughs.
It does.
Breakthrough coaching. And obviously, normally it would be 2 days with a client. We do 1 day because obviously we do lots of preparation on the course as we go through.
We do. We cover a lot.
Tell me about your breakthrough. Like, how did you find it? What was it like?
Oh, it was just absolutely just the best personal development you could ever wish for. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, as I said earlier, I'm really passionate about personal development, but I couldn't really get my head around how transformational the breakthrough would be. It was, I think for me, it was just getting at that really deep level, as I said earlier, values for me. I think that's always, I remember you saying on the course, that's always something that people find really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think you get a light bulb moment with values.
Yeah.
Because you realise, I certainly realised that for most of my life, my values had been working towards away from things.
Yeah.
And you spend so much energy, wasted energy, doing that.
Yeah.
So when you focus your attention on what you actually want and repurpose your values towards what you actually want, it makes such a difference.
Oh, doesn't it?
Completely.
Hugely different.
Yeah.
Hugely different. And how did you find the kind of preparation getting you ready for that breakthrough? Did you walk into the breakthrough feeling like you were prepared and ready to do it?
Absolutely. I think you guided us all the way. You made sure that we knew exactly what we were heading towards. So very straight from day one on the Masters, Laura will give you a guide and you literally supported all the way through then, and you know exactly what the end result will be with breakthrough. So I had all my notes ready, very prepared, and I was really
the process
excited.
was all there, because we give you the process, don't we?
We do.
I don't know how many steps the breakthrough 2-day breakthrough is. I can't remember now, but it's all written out, isn't it?
It is.
And you
It's
know
all
how
there
to do
for
each
you.
technique. There's nothing in there that you don't know how to do. And then you go and deploy all your skills to transform someone else's life.
You do indeed.
And how do you find it as a coach doing transformational coaching? So you did it on someone else.
Yes.
How did you find that as an experience?
It was wonderful. As I said, it's wonderful to have that transformation yourself, but I have to say it's so rewarding when you can see the difference that makes to somebody. I mean, for instance, that you know that they're going to take that change, they're going to put that into effect, and they're going to have just life, it's life altering for them.
Yeah.
But I think you physically see the changes, and for the listeners, you know, they might be thinking, well, what am I on about in terms of the physical changes? But I think you see a lightness in people.
Yeah.
Complete lightness. And I certainly saw that in my breakthrough.
Yeah.
It's almost as if that person has unlocked something. And I think that's the best way of describing it.
Yeah. How did you feel like when you got to the end of doing the breakthrough with your client on the course? How were you left feeling at the end of that when you'd seen the transformation happen before your eyes?
It was just so rewarding. It's just something I'll always treasure. Yeah. It's quite, it might sound a little bit daft to say, it's quite emotional though. I really think it is, because you go through that journey with your breakthrough partner, and I think it's something that you treasure, and you always have. You'll always share that bond, I think, that you've been through that journey together and you've come so far.
Yeah. I think it's amazing. It's so amazing. I mean, I always say, you know, I still remember my breakthrough vividly. I mean, however many years ago that was, when I did my master practitioner program. And I still have a connection, you know, with the person I did my breakthrough with. You know, I think, I say to people, when you do breakthrough coaching with a client, the client will end up telling you things they've never told a soul before.
That's so
and
true.
they'll never tell a soul ever again.
No.
It is a unique opportunity for a client to come to you as a master practitioner and to clear it all out. I'll refrain from swearing, but clear all that stuff out. Let's just say that, you know. And it's a as you've said yourself, it's a golden opportunity for personal development. And I always say to people, grab it with both hands.
Definitely.
Because don't be leaving having not sorted it out. And I say the same to my coaching clients now when I do breakthroughs. You know, this is your time.
Yeah, and you're in such a safe environment, I think. As you say, we've got everything there, we're all prepared. But I think it's an absolute privilege because you get the personal development yourself, but to see somebody else, as you know, Laura, my breakthrough partner, we're very close and we've got a really great relationship. And I know that if I ever have any wobbles, they're there for me.
Yeah.
And I think you get that friendship and that bond then through the breakthrough. Yeah.
It's I will never ever get tired of doing breakthrough coaching with people.
Amazing.
To think I had a hand in that. As we say in NLP, I'm not the one that does the changing when I'm the coach. It's the client that does the changing. I'm just the tour guide. I have the processes, I have the know-how, I have the knowledge to do transformational coaching, but it's not down to me to do it. It's down to the client. And the client often will turn around and say to you at the end of transformational coaching, "Oh my God, you've changed my life," and I just can't believe I was even carrying any of that stuff.
No, you don't realise that.
I always say to the client, "I didn't do it, you did it. You did it. I was just the tour guide," and it's so empowering for people, I think, when they realise, as you've said yourself, it can be different. It doesn't have to be that way.
You don't have to. I think in society in general, though, we just think we're so busy and we just get on with our sort of day-to-day lives and we don't question. We cope. We do. We don't question things, but I think you will do yourself a huge favour if it's the best personal investment you could ever make is actually doing your masters, your NLP masters with Laura, of course.
Well, very kind of you to say so.
You're welcome.
So coming at the other side of breakthrough coaching then, so obviously I know you now do that with clients and you're a transformational coach yourself, and you do this to help other people.
I do.
But just to stick with you for a moment, so you came out the other side of transformational coaching, you had your breakthrough partner did it with you. What were the kind of light bulb moments that happened for you after that transformation?
Good example is something to do with my family, actually. And I think we can all think of examples in sort of family dynamics where we go on autopilot, or because I think they're quite different sometimes. It's okay. I think sometimes we're willing to challenge things on a professional level, but when you talk at the family level, things can be quite tricky. And what I noticed for me was that I was always very worried about disappointing people, particularly in my family. And I remember vividly, I'd stress completely about letting a member of my family know that I couldn't do something. And it sounds completely simple, that not being able to do something that you just say, but there was a lot of emotion and a lot of my thinking before the masters sort of centred on me letting them down, me thinking, oh my goodness, what will happen in the future because I can't do that. And I was blowing things way out of proportion. I can see that now completely. Completely. And I remember picking up the phone quite vividly, and it was as if it wasn't me saying the words. I remember saying, well, actually, I can't do that. And I hope you understand, but this is the situation. And I think it was just the way I was, but that prompted them to say, okay, yeah, we understand. I thought, why on earth have I wasted all that time and effort stressing about that situation? And I thought that for me, it may sound a simple example, but there was so much emotion, as I say, and expectation attached to that. And I realised that, yes, that's something the old Lisa felt, but the new Lisa can do things differently. I love it. I always remember the end of your breakthrough, and obviously I love it when I see everybody, because everybody disappears for 2 days. I'm in the building in case you need me, you're there.
But I just let you go and get on with it, and everybody comes back, and I love seeing everybody as they come back, all shiny, the glow back in their skin, the twinkle in their eye, taller, more confident, without all the baggage that they were carrying, and it's just phenomenal. But the one thing always sticks in my mind about a conversation I heard you and your breakthrough partner having in the classroom that final day, and it had come to light that you didn't have a profile picture on Facebook.
Oh, yes.
And again, to our listener, that might seem like a fairly insignificant thing, but that was a big deal for you.
That was
huge deal. And there was a conversation that went on about, whether you now felt that might be something that you would be happy to do. Do you remember it?
I do remember it quite vividly. I think my thinking behind that, previously not having a photo, I think basically I was just hiding away. And I think a lot of people, if they actually admit it to themselves, I think confidence is a big issue for a lot of people. And I think when it comes to social media, I think that a lot of people feel quite judged, or sometimes it can be quite tricky to manage. And I think for me, I felt that having a photo was just exposing myself.
Yep.
And I remember on that day having that conversation, and I thought, well, why the hell not actually? Do I not have a photo? And I remember my breakthrough partner actually took the photo that day and we uploaded it there and then. And it made such a big difference, because I thought, yes, this is me. You know, I don't have to shy away anymore. This is me. And yeah.
I love it. And I still to this day remember your face when you did it. It was almost like on the one hand it was a massive achievement, and on the other hand it was a bit like a non-event. Like, well, why wouldn't you have a picture on Facebook?
Exactly.
You know, and you know, it's just different. You know, and I just think, you know, even as we're just sat here chatting, you know, we're sat here chatting on a podcast.
We are.
You know, with all these lovely people listening to us chat, and I just think the old Lisa. If I said to the old Lisa, would you be a guest on my podcast and would you come and be part of what we're doing? The old Lisa would have been like, oh, well, I said, well, what do you think the old Lisa would have done?
Yeah, she'd be at home right now. She wouldn't be here with you.
No, she wouldn't.
No, she'd be home, wouldn't she?
She'd have found an excuse not to come.
Yes, she would have, politely
There'd have been a crisis or something and she wouldn't have been here.
Politely, yes. Not wanting to let you down, but politely you've come up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think you're right there.
I love it. So you're in the final throes now of launching your business and working with people to transform their lives through all this wonderful coaching. Would the old Lisa have ever considered setting up her own business?
Oh, never in a million years. I think she was just destined to just continue professionally and just to think that there was nothing else. For me, it's really opened up a huge sort of possibility of doing that. It's really exciting. I was really excited here today to come and talk about things, because I think I've personally gained from all of your courses, and I just want to give that back now. And I've seen the change, and I know how transformational that can be for others. So I'm excited about it. I really am.
I love it. The old Lisa would definitely not have said that.
Oh, no,
like if I'd said to the old Lisa, one day, you never know, you could consider setting up a coaching business.
She would have said, "Oh, you're joking there, Laura, aren't you?" Yeah.
And look at you now.
I know.
Look at you now.
It's wonderful. It really is.
So, it's brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in today to share your story.
It's been a delight.
And I could sit here all day and talk about your transformation, because I honestly can remember the Lisa that walked in on day one, and to see you sat here now with me talking, confident, knowing what you're doing, setting up your business, helping other men and women change their lives, and sharing the toolkit that we have in order to make a difference in this world, I just think is a true transformation at its core. So thank you, and thank you for coming in to do that. If people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can contact me via my website, which is the shiniest.you.com.
I love it. I love the shiniest you, because that's exactly what happened to you and what you now do for other people.
It is, absolutely.
I love it. Okay.
It is. It's bringing out that shininess, because we've all got it. Yeah.
Oh, I so believe it. So just remind us again, what's the web address?
The shiniest.you.com.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So I've got a few final quick questions for you if you're up for it.
I am.
Come on, let's do it. Go on. So let me throw a few questions at you, short, quick fire, and see what we can else we can find out about you. So first question for you is, what does unleash your potential mean to you?
Transformation. Yes, without a doubt. And it's all thanks to you. I mean, you're amazing. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for you, and I genuinely say that, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you so much. I'm getting all teary now.
I know, me
Pull it together, Laura, pull it together. So, if you could go back to any age, what age would you go back to?
Oh, I'd probably go back to about 11, because it was just so carefree and just, it was just lovely.
I love it.
Just, great time in school and everything. And,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool. If you were to have a keyword or phrase that you think is like a pearl of wisdom or something like that, what would you say?
That we've all got hidden depths. And I think going back to my love of shininess, we can all bring that shine out. It's all there with you. I think you just have to realise that there is another way.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we have here the jar of Unleash Your Potential badges. Okay. In here there are, well, we've done a few podcasts now, but there was about 50 odd in here when we started. All words connected with NLP and what we do. So what I'd like you to do is put your hands inside the jar, give it a bit of a whirl around, pick a handful out, and then just pick one that resonates with you. And then I'm going to ask you what you picked and why you picked it.
Okay.
All right.
I shall have a go.
Have a little look at what we got in there.
Okay.
Oh, she's having a good old proper
I am
look.
actually. There's some nice selection here.
Thanks. I'm glad you like my badges.
I do like your badges. You've done well here. Oh, that's got to be it.
It's got to be. You found the one. You found the one.
It caught my eye to start with, and I thought I can't let that go.
Fab. So what did you pick, and why did you pick it?
So I chose focus.
Excellent.
And the reason I've chosen focused is because prior NLP, my focus was very limited, I would say. And I think NLP gives you that focus to really know what you want and to go for it. So that's why I chose focus.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. And thank you again so much for being part of the podcast.
No, it's been a delight. Thank you so much. I've been really excited about it. And
I love it.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything with the business.
Thank you so much.
So I hope you've really enjoyed today's podcast and you found Lisa's story really inspirational. If you want to find out more about our Master Practitioner Programme or any of the other courses that we've talked about today, then just head on over to our website at unleashedyourpotential.org.uk/courses and you'll be able to find all the information that you need about all the courses. And of course, if you have any questions, just let us know. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and drop us a review if you liked this episode and like what we're doing, and it would be my absolute pleasure to have you here, welcome you again to another episode of the NLP Talks with Laura Evans. So take care and until next time.